as Japanese Americans, I'm third generation Japanese American. My parents are second generation Japanese Americans. We don't say I love you to each other, not because we don't love each other. It's just that you don't have to say that. It's just not part of our culture. But when my father had this dementia diagnosis, I was like, gosh, you know what? I want to start saying it. But it's very awkward when you're an adult child and you've never said I love you to your parents as an adult. Do you just blurt it out? It's like, what should I do? I had a long, internal conversation about this, and I realized that I should ask permission. Let's talk about it. And I didn't want to say, because you have dementia, I want to say I love you. I was like, let's keep it light. Let's just ask. And, but I wanted to do it for my mom and my dad. And I would call every Sunday, and my mom would always answer the phone, and I would tell her about the week, and then she would hand the phone to my dad, and I'd tell him all the same stories. And then, that's how the conversation went. But this Sunday, I decided I'm gonna ask, whether we can start saying I love you for the first time in our whole adult lives. So it started out normally. Mom, here's what I did this week. And at some point in the middle, I said, Mom, I realized we never say I love you at the end of these conversations. I'm keeping it light, right? What do you think about saying I love you? Silence on the other end of the phone. It's like, what is she asking me? She's never asked me that before. And of course, I was just terrified that she would say no, because she might. I mean, she may not be comfortable. I didn't know. I'd never asked her that question before. But after what seemed like hours, it was just a few seconds, she said, I think that's a great idea. I said, oh, okay, great. And so we kind of finished up our conversation, and then both of us realized at the same time, I think, that we had nothing more to say to each other, and that we were coming to the end of the conversation. And we both knew that we had both agreed to say this thing. And I kind of describe it as, it felt like two lions kind of circling each other. What's going to happen? Who goes first? And, it was my ask. So I said, okay, I love you. And she said, I love you too, in our very Disney voices, so we can get through it. And so I had the conversation with my dad, and it was a little less awkward with him because I knew my mom said yes, and I knew my dad would say yes. We agreed with my dad. We said, I love you, hung up the phone, and burst into tears because I had kind of